Hello, friends. So today I'm here with a kind of difficult topic for me, but I would like to talk about narcissism. Uh, yes, narcissism, probably you know about something, is very common last period and uh, it's very like upcoming now. Everybody's getting conscious about narcissism, and there is like so many victims that they're starting to talk about that. And I would like also to talk about my experience with narcissism. So at first, I think narcissism is really uh, in everybody of us. That depends only on the level of the narcissism developed. Um, the truth is that we, in the self love, there is this other side which is like can be going to be even dangerous. Like it's great that you like yourself. It's great that you want to be beautiful. It's great. All these things, we all have them. But then it can be excessive self care. It can be really like possessive. Um, that that person just uh, stacked each morning in the mirror and looking himself or herself how beautiful it is and confirming yourself that he beautiful, uh, looking the muscles and looking the posture, look how great I am and look how good I am. This is the physical part of, I think, many of beautiful people. They will have that. uh, what is their um, very very strong ego. Yeah, that's markable. They're very egocentric. They are very selfish, and they have a kind of disconnection with uh, feelings. So there is no connection with feeling of the others. That there is no empathy in the narcissist. As I have been in different relationships, and I just somehow find that the last two uh, relationships were for me quite understandable. How that person can't react like that, how he cannot have the connection while he is harming me, how he cannot have that feedback, how he can just be so cool or be so cold, let's say, with that. And that was very painful. As I understood, as I come out from the last really heavy relationship and I understood narcissism and its aspects, and I really studied that and I watch videos about that and really dive deep into, and I start to understand what actually was happening. Because when you are with narcissistic person or with toxic person together, you don't mostly realize that, you don't mostly know what is really happening. So now I can really analyze that all and try to understand more that person, which what is happening in their mind and why they behave like they behave. Because in the moments they are so uh, cold and so rude, you don't just not getting it, you know. There is moments that you cry down, you are in tears, you're completely destroyed, and that person just turns and goes away, and comes back like nothing happened. And uh, the most painful thing that actually narcissists are feeling, are causing pain on purpose, like yeah, like something which makes them feel better. So let me make you understand a little bit what is it about, where this narcissism is coming from. So I guess many of us that were raised up by a one parent narcissist or with narcissistic behaviors, uh, that means probably we have also been growing up with some traumas. We have been growing rude. As I understand now, as a parent, that mostly is the pressure of the system, which is caused the pressure on perfection, that the pressure that your child have to be the best, and then is coming up some behaviors of the parents. They're really rude towards us, and um, they're not taken like rude. They're taken like, oh come on, you have to deal with that. So I think we many of us came through childhood traumas or sexual abuses, and yeah, and then this car like made us to separate, to disconnect that empathy part, this emotional part with that mind. So sometimes we say rude words and we don't care about what it makes with other person. So this is really egocentric. What but is different with that connection with narcissist is that mm, it's very much destroying your own psychology. So uh, what is it actually to like go in toxic narcissistic relationship? At first it feels like a fairy tale. You treat it like a princess. He provides you all. He's so much in love with you, and it's beautiful, like all the relationships in the beginning. That's obvious, but there is a really quick switch after he realizes that you're not the god, or after he realizes exactly your weak sides. He's twisting 180 and changing face. Uh, by the first relation, it was quite a shock for me, and by the second, so that was not so visible. I mean, I saw signs before that I came into the relation. I saw the toxicity and I saw the behaviors which I was not really okay with, like this rudeness, like this really no, passing always the border, passing always the limits, not respecting the limits, and that was making me really, uh, really mad. I could not understand why that person is doing that, and it was constantly crossing the borders as of mine, as of my daughter. So it was really painful. I could not stop him. What is then happening that become like, you know, uh, I really was destroyed by that relation. I really went so down like never. Um, that was just you know also physical abuses, and what it makes you like, what how you feel in that relation is that you always feel guilty. You always feel like this is your fault. I had been in very like free relation, but then it turned against me, and uh, I was, starting to get really paranoid. How I understand, so I got this macho alpha really type of, and he was surrounded with women, and so that could be my narcissistic side, that I start to be really jealous and paranoid, and that paranoia was really getting overloaded. And more, I wanted to make clear the things, like if the relationship is open or if it's closed, and I really wanted just straight answer. So less that I was given, and I was so confused, that I just got anger back. So it was like provocation from both sides, like always touching that point of who he was with, and trying to starting to control. What I want to say, it's not that I was doing that on purpose. I first like tried to accept that he's free man and he goes in 4 o'clock in the morning downtown, and I was not questioning that much. I didn't want really to know where, but of course that mind is starting to work. Like, why in 4 o'clock? What you have to do? And the answers was not um convenient for me. it was not really what I think he was really doing. So I start to feel, oh, so many lies in that relationship. I catch him many times lying to his parents. I catch some, things which they were really obviously there for another reason that he told me. Things he would say me that he's not doing. I found that, uh, you know, uh, testimony really, that he's doing that thing. So I really start to be suspicious. I really stop to trust, I think, or if I ever did, because that was all like I have not clear what is the relation about, how is his how he spent his time alone. And I was brought to his world not knowing anything, and suddenly I was realizing, and I was very very confused, because what they were saying was something different that they were behaving like. So the connections with other people of him was very close, and I was suddenly, as first as I came, so I was presented as his wife, and he was very proud of me, and he presented to everyone proudly me and make me know all the friends. And there were little things that I was just feeling that uh, it's not probably, like the people like, okay, probably they knew him. But it was feeling great, and we were really in love, and there was really a lot of plans, like how we will live and how we will do all our space and how we will do that all. And yeah, there is a lot of like fake promises there in this relation. You start to see that there is a lot of words like I will do, but that's nothing happening, and you just waiting and waiting. And with that, he has like hooked you. So this is the trick how to manipulate you. He promised you that he will give you what you want really from that relationship, like a house or a son, or whatever, marriage or whatever. And you just have you like, oh yeah, this is the man, right, hooked on that promise. But mostly it's a fake promise, as you see by the actions, that soon, like, he's probably trying, but soon is going uh, the own way again. And suddenly I see myself, like, by walking, being always behind him, like 2 3 steps behind him, going behind him, like not like a couple together, hand by hand, like it was so beautiful, all hugged, just running behind him like a dog. And many times I said, I'm not your dog. And I start to feel like that. I start to feel dishonested. I start to feel disrespected. He made jokes about me with his friends. He turned the back when he's speaking with the friends. So I start to be really paranoid that there is something like against me. And then with other people was the connection warmer than with me. Uh, I was actually serving as sexual pleasure, right? In the end, it was just like I felt like a thing. And I got really less and less confident. As I was stuck in myself on this person, and I had this vision to create things together. So suddenly, when he was like separating from me and spending more and more time with his friends than with me, so I was staying alone, and I would like wait for him all the time, or hunt him, or being behind him and look for him everywhere, and try to, like fix the problem. Like we were fighting every day. It was like, constant pressure, constant fight. And if I try to point something, like really want to get the answer, my jealousy was becoming really like, I was becoming really paranoid, and I was really seeing that thing. So he was always out of the home, and I was always alone, and always thinking where he is, what he's doing, and I could not stop that thing. Um, as later on, like it's few months ago, thanks to some other type of relation, I found out that probably in my case, that's Othello syndrome going on. This I will take another day to explain and to try to help people with that syndrome, because that might be a sign of many things. But um, from that, I can yeah, take my part that it was not only one person, never it is. That must be always two people. So I really became this sick, right? And with this attitude, I was like provoking fights. But even if I try to stop myself, and even if I try to stop this provoking and try to start to think like, no, there is nothing happening, I saw everywhere signs anyway. And uh, really I start to lose friends because of that. And he was showing always the good side outside, and then when the door closed, that spit on me that other side. So it was like a little schizophrenia. I sometimes catch it like many moments that we just fight and he went out and meet someone and put a smile on. So I knew that the smile is so fake, that actually he's not so nice person and not so sunshine as he shows to be. And that many people, they just like him because he has this beautiful face, but that inside of him is something different. And but still I was like very much judged by him. I was like pointed like, you, it's your fault, it's your sick, you're wrong, you have to do like this, you have to do like that. um Actually, there can be that many things that were real, and I could take them like a lesson for myself to learn something. But in that state, it was really impossible to be independent. It was really impossible to switch that mindset from the head. And I start to be really alone, but alone in the way of lonely. I start to close myself. I start to be without friends. I stop to communicate with people. If I go to bar, I just sit and would say nothing, just drink. I just start to use, a lot of alcohol and some drugs. And I just was sitting every day on the garden and make the garden, make things, but I was drinking myself down, right? I couldn't really enjoy this beauty. I was in beautiful place, I have beautiful, surrounding, but I was so psychologically destroyed that I wouldn't believe it is possible. And I could not really wake myself up and wake my creativity up and my action again. There was so many things happening, like really traumatic things, and so many confusing things. Like he would really mm, point always on me and always deny his fault. He's part of it, right? He was always like, okay, and I was the wrong one. He never hit me, or let's say it was always me who attacked. Once that happened, he even denied all the story of that. He threw me down the floor. He said I done it to myself. And I remembered really clearly when I came in the same point, in the same emotional state. I just get the flashback. My mind just pushed that away, not to see that. But in that moment when it came back, I just saw that again, and I am sure, 100% sure that it happened like I remember, not how he said it. Really was so many lies in there, and half truths, or like not even talking about what he's doing, where he is, and who and what he's doing. So I was um really not in my skin, and I really start to be depressed. I was like asking him for the understanding, but it was impossible. More I tried to ask him to be compassion with me, compassive with me. I get the the contrary. And that was going on for some months. Then I go to shaman healer, and I just understood back. He puts me back inside of me, he makes me cleaning, and what he puts and what he it was very helpful. And I understood that he puts back my limits, he set my limits back. And so I did not let myself manipulate. And I see the difference in between suddenly of where I let myself drown, and this me where I am really myself. And what to say also then? When it was 4 more months after rescreening, then I realized that manipulation went really very fast and even deeper down. So I really became anxious, depressed. I had panic attacks, hysteric attacks, and I started to have hysteric attacks every morning. And I would blame myself that it's my fault, but I was feeling treated so bad and so like ignored that I would really uh, uh, just freak out from that, not being able to understand how this person cannot understand that I'm really suffering and that I really need his love and his somehow connection, his good attitude or his support. It was so we were so disconnected from each other, and I just had to fight every day for my life and for my being. I could not really be. I was not able to be. I was just screaming, crying, or just shaking, or just putting myself down with alcohol, like just switching that off, or just running somewhere behind him, or just it was no life. It was just suffering. And still I was looking for my fault in that, and I blamed myself that I'm really jealous and this is really bad and this is really my fault, and that I'm really sick, that I really cannot handle myself, and I cannot handle my emotion. I start to really feel like I need all pills, or to put that out, or I need psychotherapist, right? And I was really, really getting mad. Then when I came out from this relation, I tried to go many times out from this relation. I didn't went out really clear way, I have to say. But it was always try to escape and then coming back because I really love him. And but he treated me so bad and he was so cruel that it was really yeah, really instandable. And uh, the last time when I just decided to go, I just after 1 week of growing up incidents, I just decided the last one was just some words, but it was enough, some insults, and it was enough to just take my stuff and run away. And it was a lot of pain and a lot of like grief and breaking apart something was just very strong. Uh, then I stayed like incognito. Then I like start to work with myself. I stopped drinking. I tried to analyze. It was going on anyway. This panic attacks and hysteric attack. I was very, very in a state like I could not even listen to anyone, or some advices or some critics. I was really so oversensitive that I could not stand anything. So the only thing what I how I get out from this attachment and like wanting to come back and this love, um, was that I was going to work, and I worked and I worked. Then suddenly I opened again the communication, and it was get like soaking me back again. Like I understood more when I was away that it's like one day is okay, and then the next call is the same again. So it's like I call it the sugar and whip technique. So once he's so nice and you see this good part in him, and he's like really, yeah, I know, I'm sorry and stuff like that, and the next day or next second he's just putting again the guilt on you, and he's just uh, what I realized in the last one of the last calls, it was in 5 minutes when I realized that this person is exactly touching your weak point where he can attack, right? When he knows where to harm you, so he just touched that. And then he's like, oh, what happens, you're so oversensitive, or you're so crazy. um I didn't make anything, and you are like that. You see it so far. So it's like he's twisting all against you, and this there I realized that manipulation is really hard, how it works in the psychological way. So then I really stop and cut the connection. uh yeah, that's really hard part of my life. And when I start to study that issue, I start to understand that way of manipulation, that disconnection from empathy, that this person actually does not feel any pain when he makes you pain. He does not feel any compassion. He does not feel any responsibility. Those people are very irresponsible. They like put all the responsibility on you. They are uh, really like living from the others, right? They are like sucking energy of you. So what was happening in the relationship is that more down I was, more up he was. So it's like, you try to suck the person from the energy that you feel more powerful. This is sometimes happening to me because I have it also from my ancestors. Of course, I have something from that there because of this. I look for as a mirror in the relationships in the partner. So I like mirroring that because I had this in family. So I look for the model, or I somehow tend to the model, right? So yeah, it's attracting, right? So I know also that sometimes I'm probably critical and put the person down, and I feel like proud, falsely proud about, and I feel like really I'm, oh, now I have an energy, and I actually enjoy the person being down, right? And like you see, and that's what narcissists have, like really huge, like when you are down, he just point of you and you see this is your problem. You have a problem. You're sick. You see you're not okay. You see you're crazy. You see you're sick, and that's like they start to really convince you that what you see and what you feel is not true, and you are really mad, and you start to feel mad. This is the danger of it, and I really start to feel mad.